allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Wilkinson is absent and excused. Commissioner Desjardins.
Here.
Commissioner Burge.
Here.
Commissioner Prunick.
Here.
Mayor Barry.
Here. All right.
Use Bob's space.
Before we move any further, I'd like to entertain a motion to amend the agenda and add an item. It's the memorandum of understanding between the school resource officer and the city. Bryce had seen that it's expired, and so we need to address it. So if somebody would like to make that motion, we'll put it at 1A.
I move to amend the agenda to include the school resource officer contract.
I'll support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Desjardins, supported by Commissioner Burks, to add item 1A, the memorandum of understanding between the city and the school resource officer. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carried. All right, item B, moving back up, public comment, 4 minutes.
Pass one down, please. I've been to the last couple of meetings and addressed the city on the water increase. Again, I consider this not a city commission issue, but a community issue. And my goal here is not to be negative on it, but try to understand how we got to where we're at and maybe shed some light. So I want to give you a handout so you can follow along. If you go just quickly to the back page, the last page shows a water bill that I received in 2007 and a water bill I received in December 2025, 17-year span. The next page coming forward is the CPI taking off the governmental website of the CPI over the last time frame, 207 to 225. The next page coming forward is that CPI changed into the increase of the dollar over that time period. And I'll read my comments and make some. So I got 316 because of the snow. It should be 318. I'm not a grammarian, so there's probably some spelling errors in here, but I think you get the process of it. So attached is a water bill for the 2-month period, June and July of 2007. The total bill is $158.02. The usage is 13,000 gallons for a per gallon rate of 158.02 divided by 13,000 of 1.216 cents per gallon. Attached is a total bill for water and sewer for the 1-month period of December 2025. Total amount of the bill is $218.52. The usage is 6,307 gallons for a per gallon rate of 3.465 cents per gallon. The inflation rate per the charts I provided from 207 to 225 is 54.84%. If you multiply the 1.26 cents per gallon from 2007 to the 2025 rate, that'd be 1.5484% of the gallon rate would be comparable to the CPI. That rate would be $1.883 cents per gallon. The current rate per gallon is 3.456 cents. The current rate is 83.54% higher than the CPI over that time frame. So I know we say we're only increasing by CPI, and these are actual, and I could have made a mistake, but I think those are the actual bills. So the rate is increased. We need city water, we need good water, we need good service. I'm not disputing that at all. But to rely on the CPI number, I'd like somebody to review that because I think it's an error of the statements that are made. So I boiled this water thing down to the rate history, which I provided, the rate comparisons, which probably in the big picture might give you a good or bad feeling, but probably don't mean much because we have to have the city water here. And I did do 2 rate comparisons with 2 communities close by or in the Upper Peninsula. And the one I got the final analysis, we are higher, and we're gonna be higher if this rate goes forward. Just a couple of thoughts. I sat through the audit presentation, and I guess that's it.
Thank you,
Thank you.
John, for giving us this. Anybody else have a public comment?
I do. And so I am here, I don't have all the numbers that John does, but I'm concerned.
What's your name,
I'm
please?
Cora Searly. I'm concerned about the city water sewer increases. You know, I don't live in the city, but I have a large business in the city. I've got 70 showers running, I've got 70 toilets flushing, and I've got a pool and a hot tub. We empty our hot tub pretty regularly, pretty high amount of gallons coming in, going out. Doing business has never been more expensive than what it is today for a small business owner. From payroll to taxes to insurances, it's getting really hard. And that's why you see these large businesses coming in and buying out, for instance, hotels. And they're not locals, they don't contribute to, you know, local causes, donations, they don't serve on boards, they don't live in the community, their kids don't go to our schools. The people that are getting squeezed out by things like 13% rate increases are people like me. So,
Thanks, Cory. Anybody else?
I'll go. Tom Deloski, Munising. Echoing John's documents, hadn't had time to put anything together from the time that Cory asked if I could make it this evening at about 3 o'clock and now. So buying power has decreased 35%. Taxes have increased significantly. I can tell you that I know several small business owners in this community that are borrowing money to pay winter taxes. I have not yet been able to make my winter taxes. I don't agree with the 14% increase on water until some additional due diligence is completed and a more comprehensive understanding of a couple of things. Why the increase is needed at such a substantial increase. 14% is not small. Doesn't tie in with COLA or CPI in any way, shape, or form. Secondarily, I think community-oriented, as John had said, sitting on that side of that bench a couple of times, I'd be really concerned about what this does with our relationship with the prison, right? What it's going to do to key stakeholders in the community that we ought not disrupt right now. So I would urge maybe patience, review, and then I think the third thing, which is really tough in this town, we know that the school's coming in for a millage request in May as well. It's terrible timing for the school. If this were to roll out at the same time, I could pretty much guarantee you that the school doesn't stand a chance with the millage, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion. I think their chances are very low. They might as well not even bring it to the vote if a 14% water increase runs in parallel with that. So I would urge patience, some review. You know, I understand we had consultants come in. I know that you all understand those consultants visit every community and convey the same opinion. So maybe take that with a grain of salt with that which they provide and dig a little bit deeper before our bills go higher. Cory's right. We've got business interests in other communities. Munising is very hard, extremely hard. And it's sad to stand here and say it because I know that you're listening. I know that you're not going to hear me until some of my businesses are gone. And it shouldn't be that way. You should listen and hear before we fail. And we're headed for failure.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else? Hearing none, we'll move on to item C, the consent agenda. Any concerns, questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I'll support.
It's been moved by Commissioner Stark, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the consent agenda. Any more discussion?
Do we have to remove the city attorney report from that listing since we don't have it?
We do have it.
Just that email? Okay.
Anybody else? All right. So do you want to make a motion?
We did.
Oh, you did, I'm sorry, that's right. All those in favor? Motion carries. All right. Let's see. Old city business, marina rules and regulations, we tabled from 3/4/2026. We tabled it because we wanted Bill Nordine's opinions on some things, and with him not being here, you know, what your wishes are.
I'm ready to approve it.
Okay.
The issue of ice fishing will be kicked down the road until next December.
So,
I agree, we got a lot of time, plus there's a case in Henrietta County that might be relevant with bubblers that would be nice to wait for a little bit and see how that goes. So,
okay.
I move we approve the policies and procedures for the Bay Shore Marina.
I support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Birch to approve the marina rules and regulations. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 2, discuss Commissioner Roundtable that we also tabled from our last meeting. And Bill had given us some information in his email regarding that. Roundtables are very common. He always wondered why Munising chose not to have one. You only have 2 meetings a month and for commissioners to discuss issues without fear of violating Open Meetings Act. The more opportunity for open discussion at the meetings means less chance of inappropriate discussions outside the meetings. Typically, we would just add commissioner comments.
This surprises me coming from our attorney, but I would be willing to add it to the agenda if we had some structure in how those comments were made so that we don't violate the Open Meetings Act. Because we could get into a very fiery debate about issues that are not on the agenda. And the criteria for the Open Meetings Act is if you are reasoning towards a decision outside of an agenda item or outside of a city commission meeting, then you're in violation of the Open Meetings Act. So I still think that if there's an issue that is important enough to a commissioner, they should put it on the agenda. And that way we avoid the whole possibility of it. But if Bill can give us some structured points for what we can talk about, what we can't talk about, I'm fine with that. We used to do it all the time, didn't we, Sue?
Yes, and that's why we no longer do it anymore.
And it hardly ever resulted in fistfights.
Hardly ever.
Okay, so basically,
I might just ask for further clarification on what you're looking for specifically.
You know, what do we say we're gonna have roundtable discussion, commissioner comment period, and I make a proposal to do something radical, and you disagree with it, and we start talking about it back and forth, and then Jordan weighs in with his opinion. There's 3 of us reasoning towards a decision on an item that's not on the agenda. We need some guidance. You know, if Bill is at the meeting and can say, okay, fellas, that's enough, we're going too far, shut it down. That would be adequate, but he's not at every meeting, he's only at every other meeting.
I think it's relevant for us to kind of clarify what we're asking for, because I know,
I would ask him to do that too.
yeah, and the way that it was always taught to us in school is that Open Meetings Act is about not pushing past a threshold that you can't come back from. It's very rough because the case law in Marquette, unfortunately, where that came from, has made outside discussion very difficult, and it's not something that I want to do anyway. But I know that there's going to be lots of stuff that is going to be positive and transparent this way. So,
On any item, I mean, if I remember the charter correctly, the manager, the mayor, or any 2 commissioners can call for a special meeting, and any commissioner can, or the clerk, can ask for something to be put on the agenda. So that's easy enough. I just.
I think you have to keep it to comments.
Yeah,
Then
comments
if a
rather
comment
than
is going to
debate.
have discussion, it needs to become an agenda item.
no
My
call
own
to
personal
action.
thought. That way you're not engaging in, hey, I don't agree with that, just, you know you don't agree with it, but it goes on the agenda. And that's what you say. We're not gonna fight about it now, we're gonna put it on the agenda, then it'll be discussed.
Yeah, that's good guidance. If it turns into a discussion, we could leave that up to the mayor. Say, okay, that's enough, let's put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and that's a good idea.
Sweet.
So, like to have Michelle get with Bill and give us some written guidance? That's good. Is that okay? So we really don't need to act on that. Yep. So, all right, discussion only. All right, new city business, item 1, city manager's report. Anybody questions, concerns, you want to pull anything out, Michelle?
Michelle, I'm confused on what contract language is Ray working on?
For the unions.
Oh, for the unions, okay.
Yeah.
He's working very slowly.
He's retired, I might know, he's taking the putter method, I
Do we
think.
need it in a hurry?
Um,
At what point you feel comfortable saying, well, okay, Ray, that's enough, I'll do it myself?
I think we're starting, I don't have an answer to that specifically
Okay.
right now.
Well, it'll be your call.
Yep.
In a very positive thing, we've got an award for the water and wastewater department. I
Yeah.
think that's worth talking about. Do you want to talk about it, or it seems like you know more?
Basically, the Michigan Rural,
Rural Water Association.
Rural Water Association nominated Ron for Water Service of the Year. And I think there's different categories that get awarded that, but he was awarded that. So Ron is on his way to Mount Pleasant to go to the awards banquet, and there's a little bit of a conference that's associated with that. So Ron does a great job, and I'm very thankful to have him on staff. He's very talented.
Did you and the chief go walking on the 17th?
We did not.
I asked her that too.
Yeah. We'll reschedule that.
A DPW question, is it lower running?
It is not, we're working on getting that running. I was actually up there today looking at that. Jaden, the mechanic, has a clear vision on how to get it running. He's gonna try and work on it today. I think he's off on Friday, so anyhow, it's a priority and we think we can get it running. So if he can get it running today or tomorrow, we'll have it, but otherwise, probably next week.
Anyone else? All right. Thanks, Michelle. All right, item 1A.
We need to approve that?
We do approve it? Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the city manager report as presented.
I'll support it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Birch, supported by Commissioner Blumett to approve the city manager's report. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 1A, memorandum of understanding between the school and the city. And I'm going to defer to Bryce on this, he brought it.
Okay, so, what's been handed to everybody here is the MOU between the school and the city of Munising. My understanding about the history of this document is that this is a renewal of one that was completed in '23 and then it was extended for another 3-year term. The problem is that it has expired on January 31st. There are some emails from the school staff as well as city staff that says that money will be continuing throughout that time. The problem is that there's some language issues with the policy and MOU compared to the school student handbook. So the first time that the city approved this was with the old school handbook. Now, with the new school handbook that is triple the size of the previous one, there are a number of issues that might come up dealing with some various aspects, dealing with how the school resource officer operates. If you look at this MOU, there's a couple of them in particular. Number 7, it talks about what kind of real and immediate threats to students, etc., kind of gets listed, but that list doesn't match the student handbook. There's a couple of times where it talks in the student handbook that the school resource officer is not to be considered a law officer. He's supposed to be treated as a school chaplain. There's a couple of other times that talk about punishments that can be given to students for not interacting with a chaperone or school representative in some way or fashion, and they can be punished for it, including whether or not that they are exercising their Fifth or Sixth Amendments to not self-incriminate, to wait until they get a parent to talk to them. And there's a couple of things in there, because it is really complicated. The overlap between FERPA, which is basically like HIPAA for students, and some of the posting guidelines that we have for sharing information is going to be conflicting and very kind of weird to begin with. But the cell phone policy that was just a policy previously has now moved into law, state law. And I'm a little concerned that the conflicting language between the new school handbook and the MOU, which deals with the outdated school handbook, could put us at risk for the remaining 4 months that this is in play. With that, I know that I had asked Michelle to reach out to Bill about whether or not accepting the money still counts as having the MOU in place, even though it's expired. I would think that that would kind of just encourage things, but I don't legally know. And then some of the other kind of stuff might be dealt with policy. I mean, Chief Peters has already shown a real strong approach on dealing with policy issues. The body cam stuff is another one that's a big one. Because whether or not you can get access to a body cam compared to a FERPA request is very difficult and very different in how those things go along. So in the past, it used to just be a student's cell phone video was enough to get a court order to go over FERPA. Well, now that's illegal.
Okay, let's.
So
let's step back on
it's
topic.
it's kind of weird about how those risks come up to the city. But I was hoping that we could have at least some further clarification on this program for the rest of the year, so that way we don't run the risk of a lawsuit like the school has had with other civil rights issues in the past.
Well, we need to renew the contract, and if we have to revise the language in the contract, we need to revise the language in the contract.
So I think that this should be given to Bill and get a copy of the student handbook or the school's handbook as well, so he can make comparisons.
Will that address that?
You know, I don't know, because I don't know what the short term is compared to the long term. Long term is we would just be able to do it afterwards, but I know that the funding for this at the state level is kind of up in the air. And so I'm not really sure what the benefit would be or what could be done on a short term basis to protect us in the transition, because we've already expired.
Well, we have a law enforcement, an armed law enforcement officer in the school full-time. And we should make sure that his activities in the school are properly arranged for, or an agreement between the school and him, or the school and the city. We need a proper contract between the school and the city. I think we can make it a priority for Bill
Maintenance bill, yeah.
to do that. I don't know, does the school have an attorney?
School has access to attorneys through, I think, Thune Law Firm, which is out of northern Ohio. They use the Neola policies, which is pretty standard throughout the 6th district, which is Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky.
Just his presence in the school without a contract is problematic,
Sure, absolutely.
whether we're getting paid or not.
So do you want to make a motion to authorize?
I would move, well, you go ahead, Bryce, what do you think? I would move that we direct the city manager and the city attorney to clarify the memorandum of understanding between Munising Public Schools and the city of Munising expeditiously.
I think that's a good motion. I'll support it.
Okay. Been moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Burns, to direct the city manager and the city attorney to, I lost it.
Clarify.
Clarify the memorandum of understanding expeditiously.
Do we keep him in the school in the meantime?
You know, I don't have a problem with him doing outside stuff, you know, directing traffic and stuff like that. you know, it's weird, personal bias, you know, like I admit to it, so. I don't know, I don't have a problem with him doing traffic stuff, but I do have a problem with him being in the school at this point.
What do you think, Michelle?
I think I would need more information to say yes or no.
I would consult with the chief and the city attorney.
Yeah.
I would yield to Chief Peters in this case.
I mean, he's a valuable resource to the school.
Very much so.
And to clarify, I don't think this is anything about the school resource officer at all. I think that this is a trap
Jake does a
of
great
administrative
job.
policies, so,
Okay,
yeah.
we've got a motion support on the table. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, Kathy Reynolds' report.
There was none.
She didn't, yeah, she wasn't able to make it, but she was able to.
I don't think anybody got out of, you got out of our train.
All right, item 3, Pictured Rocks Cruises lease agreement. Basically, we kind of met on this, and the agreement is as stands. Once you get into the agreement, and we did some of the math that was part of determining the rate, and the 2% is, that's what we'll have to stay with. So it's not gonna go up. And let's see, if there's anything else in here. Do you have anything else? No? Okay, yes.
I do.
Straightforward.
I don't like this lease agreement at all. I was not, you know, and I thought I was the mayor when this original lease was passed, and I was not. It was Bob Beaupre. And I went to the minutes, and it turns out I was not at the meeting when it was adopted by the city commission. Else I would have had an issue with it then. It's very advantageous to Pictured Rocks Cruises. It's very disadvantageous to the city of Munising. We do not have the ability to raise the rate.
We'll get out of the contract.
And you guys, the three of you just made the argument, costs are going up. The city's costs are going up as well. We doubled the boat launch. Well, let me back up a little bit. The Marina Fund, which would be more aptly called the Waterfront Facilities Fund, covers the boat launch, the L dock, which is now the T dock or the municipal pier, the marina, and it includes the Annie River Fishing Pier. Revenues from the boat launch, the commercial leases, the seasonal slip rentals, and transient slip rentals provide the fees that sustain the Marina Fund or the Waterfront Facilities Fund. We're obliged to set those fees high enough to pay the cost of operating and maintaining those waterfront facilities, just as we do the water and sewer. If we're locked into 2% as a commercial slip annual increase, it's inadequate to cover our costs. We doubled the boat launch fee. We made, at the request of staff, we tried to increase the seasonal recreational slip rentals by 20% of necessity. And we ended up increasing them by more than 2%. As we did the transient fees, we increased them by more than 2%, and we get to increase them each year. But if we're locked into a 2% increase in the commercial slip fees, or the commercial rental fees, it seems inadequate and also unfair to the people who made a 100% fee increase, or a significant increase for the seasonal and transient recreational slip rentals. So my guidance or my advice to the city manager was to negotiate a higher per annual fee increase. And apparently we have not done that. My attention was drawn to paragraph 9 of the contract. It says this lease is for 10 consecutive years running from May 1st through November 1st, commencing on May 1st, 2011. At second party's option, which would be PRC, this lease may be renewed for an additional 5-year periods. But in paragraph 3, rent, it says the second party, which is Pixie Rocks Cruises, shall pay the city the same amount increased each year by 2% as rent for each succeeding year this lease is in effect. Second party understands and agrees that rent to be charged under this lease must comply with the minimum rate set by the state of Michigan, shall be set at not less than twice this rate, and may exceed twice this rate. To me, that gives us authority when we renew the contract every 5 years to increase the per year annual increase. I was hoping for clarification from the city attorney, who was not here tonight. I understand the staff's willingness or desire to lock this agreement in place as they're preparing the budget. But I have as many reservations about this lease agreement as I understand the city attorney has. So I'm not entirely sure how we can proceed.
Well, you're gonna have to help me on this one, because you
Yeah.
just did this. Referring back to paragraph 3, was it, second part, I understand? Or wait, the state of Michigan shall be set not less than twice this rate, and may exceed twice this rate. Well, we did the math, and,
2% exceeds that.
well, this is where I need your help, Michelle.
Right, so basically, the Michigan Waterways sets rates from you. They'll set some annual rates, and the way I did this exercise with Bill, basically, you take the minimum amount rate that they set, using our little designated category, which is rate 9 in this case. If you look at rate 9, convert that into a per foot rate, which is, $46.20. So that's the first part of that kind of verbose sentence in section 3. The second part of that verbose sentence says, shall not be set at not less than twice this rate. So then
And
you take
can
that,
exceed that.
yeah, then you take the 46.2 times 2, and you get $92.40. And then you multiply that by the, 380 feet that's included in this lease, and you get $35,000. So that $35,000,
The math doesn't interest me, Michelle.
yeah,
And may exceed twice this rate.
but
I
currently
need
it
clarification
doesn't.
on that.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
John, you had a comment?
Which tells me that we have the ability to set the rate. And if we don't have the ability to set the rate, we cannot. You guys sit there and tell me the cost of doing business in the city is going up. Well, the cost of the city doing business is going up. Can you lock in all your vendors and
It's hard for me to sit
suppliers?
here and answer
No, but
questions.
let me finish, John. I want to hear from you because I want to keep this amicable. Can you lock all your vendors and suppliers into a 2% annual increase? I don't think anybody can. Please, John, I want to hear.
380 feet, does that include both sides of the L or just the inside?
Well, that's another
That's
question.
what's in the lease. I mean, that's on the agreement.
It's just the east side, the north and the east side. We have a separate agreement on,
Right,
I
I know, I
assume,
just
for
want to
the
make sure
west
that
side.
the 380 does not include the west side.
It does not,
Doesn't it? You sure?
yes.
It says 95 feet along the north-south leg of the dock from the inside of the L dock, and 285 feet along the east-west leg of the dock from the inside of the L. So,
We've got a good relationship with the city. We're paying double, over double. In fact, I think this year 50,000, so it's almost close to triple the rate.
I mean, it's 45 something.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so it'd be 45, yeah.
So you come up with, how much did you come up with, Michelle?
for
Double?
double of,
35,112.
45. So we're probably about 2.5 to 2.75 times the standard rate,
that's minimum, not standard.
the minimum rate.
Minimum. The understanding that some commercial rentals are more lucrative than other commercial rentals. And
is that?
My issue is with the contract, the lease itself. I sure wish I could lock in all of my expense increases to 2% every year.
And I want to keep it amicable too, Rod. But you say expenses. We don't draw much off. I mean, we're not needing assistance from the harbor master. We're not requiring anything, really, any labor, like your other slips that you have on there. There's a, you know, I think it's a give and take. We really are independent of the city dock.
I know, but I had this room full of seasonal slip runners wanting to kill me
I understand. But they're paying
because they didn't think
$1,000.
that they should pay a rate increase to fund improvements at the boat launch. I mean, we could separate, we could have a boat launch fund, and we could have a commercial dock fund, and we could have a recreational marina fund, and we could have an Annie River Pier fund if we wanted, and we could do them all. But we lump all of our waterfront facilities together because it's more efficient to do it that way. The Big P project, remember the Big P project, which was a mixture of Fish and Wildlife funding and DNR trust fund funding? We extended the LDOC 100 feet to the west or to the east with that.
And if I can respond, that was done because you got the capital of the expansion to the west.
But the point I'm trying to make is that the $400,000 local match came from the Marina Fund, which had built up a surplus over the years, primarily from boat launch fees.
That
You know.
didn't benefit us. I mean,
Where you use
extension.
part of that slip, you're part of that.
Oh, it was there.
Okay, we need to get back to the task at hand.
The task at hand is this lease, I can't support it.
I would like to jump in with a couple things real quick. So, we just increased rates 10% because the state said everything across this little form is increased by 10%. That's something that we have to do because we took money from the grants to pay for that. Okay, so we're on the same page with that. The last phrase, or the last sentence is, rent may be increased, therefore, if state set rates increase proportionally. We did not increase those rates. We listened to all of those people that have seasonal boat slips come in here, and they raised their complaints, and they said, we're not doing this. And some of them left their stuff up, some of them didn't, not my call, whatever they want to do. But the thing is that if we wanted to change how Pictured Rock Cruises or any commercial group is going to do it, we needed to do it with the state set rates that are in this grant diorama, matrix, whatever you want to call it. This was where it needed to be done. And the increases, even at 2%, even that's not even close to inflation, it's less than half of inflation. Even though that's not the case, they're still paying more than what the new amount would be even with the increased price. If we're not setting up any of the other rates higher, then I don't know how you pick and choose when this is the way that we have to do it according to the state, when we got the money from the state to make this happen. There's no break in this lease, with the exception of, I do think that you've got 5 boats that you're rotating through 4 spots. But
We have 6 spots.
here in the lease, it says that you only got room for 4 boats.
Yeah, two we have on the other side.
On the west side, that's a different agreement.
Right, I know, but like, I mean, that might be a question, but,
We only keep 4 boats at the dock on that side.
so, that being said, I think it's more of a policy issue for the new policy that we put together in terms of notifying the harbor master more than it is actually a breaking of the lease. That being said, there's nothing in this lease that gives the city the power to get out of it.
That's my issue too.
This lease happened when I was in high school. Like, I mean, we can't do anything about it.
As I mentioned, it's very advantageous to Pictured Rock Cruises, and John, you and I have been doing this a long time. I know, and you know, that you're going to do what's best for Pictured Rock Cruises.
Well, absolutely.
And I
don't want to hide that at all. I'm here to
I
represent
like
them.
them. I am going to do what's best for the city. And this lease is not advantageous to the city because it limits our ability to control the cost of that commercial
If I
space.
can respond to that, I think it is advantageous to the city, because if it wasn't there and we weren't there, I think your tax base in the 3-block area would be specifically impacted.
But we don't see it anyway, it goes to the DDA,
Well,
so.
Well, we see some portion.
I would be amicable to changing, do you still unload passengers on the dock?
Nope.
No, no.
Just on emergencies. We pulled off the dock. We-
Well, if you're not going to unload passengers on the dock, then that language should not be in the lease.
Well, we do on emergency situations. I would not put 99, I don't know exactly, but 95% plus is off our own property.
Well, like I said, my vote is 1 and 5, and I understand the staff's desire to have this resolved as part of the budget preparation process, and 5 years from now, I'm not gonna be here making this decision. This is the last time I'm gonna have, John, you're not gonna be here making this decision either, 5 years.
And that's why it's so important we get it right, because we're gonna have new people coming up. And I want to make sure that the relationship between the city, what I don't want to do is get crossways with a city like Mackinac Island, and there are lawsuits, and it gets in the press, and people don't come there because they don't know if the boat's running. I mean, it can impact a lot of things, just bad public policy out to tourists.
We don't want bad publicity.
Well, and Munising, the city of Munising and Picture Rocks Cruises have a symbiotic relationship, which extends to the Picture Rocks National Lakeshore. You have a symbiotic relationship with them. And it's in everyone's best interest to keep that relationship as amicable as possible. The benefits of Picture Rocks Cruises to the city of Munising are not tangible. The benefits of Picture Rocks Cruises to the business community are extraordinary. I mean, you are the basis of our tourist economy. And I just don't like the language in the
I
lease.
can appreciate that. But I wasn't at that meeting it was signed either, but that is the lease. And I'm not an attorney, but that's the lease.
I'm not an attorney either, and I would prefer to have this reviewed by the attorney and for him to answer the questions that I have about the applicable sections. But he's not here. I would offer to table it, or somebody can make a motion to approve it, and I will not support it.
All right.
One more comment, and then,
Does Picture Rock Cruises want to change anything to this lease? I don't think we have to even bring this forward to a motion. There's nothing we can do to stop it, so it's for
But we
information.
want to be a good partner with the city.
Right.
I don't want to say no because we,
well,
don't want to get
it
along.
seems that it is like.
That's not the way that I was taking it.
No, and it seems that this is an auto renewal, and, I mean, Picture
I don't
Rocks-
see that it's an auto renewal.
well, it's every 5 years, and I think coming forward.
They have
it's
the option of renewing it every 5 years. To me, I interpret that paragraph to mean that we can't offer it to anybody else every 5 years.
It's plural, periods, not period.
I agree, but it says,
So,
as second party's option, this lease may be renewed for additional 5-year periods.
We're not second party. That's why I
They're
just
the
asked the
second party.
question.
They have the option of renewing. To me, it's like right of first refusal. That's how I read that paragraph.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you. I would like to know you guys' wishes, if we are tabling, or somebody would make a motion to approve it.
If you guys want to approve it, it's up to you.
I make a motion to approve it. Can't do anything else.
If we table it and we bring it to Bill, is it going to change the fact of there's no way of us getting out of it? Like, I just don't. I guess I'm wondering what would happen if we were to table it. What would
Would it
what would
be,
bringing it to Bill do?
We wouldn't get paid when we expect to get paid. When do you expect to put boats in the water, John? Sorry, that wasn't a funny
Well, we
one.
usually pay before we put the boats in the water.
I agree.
So everything states May 1st is when this would restart. We do have the month of April. If you guys want to table it for his response, I don't think that would cause undue burden on Picture Rock Cruises or the public in any way. So I'm fine with tabling it as well. I just don't think it's going to change anything.
well, it'll, just having the guidance and the opinion of the attorney.
I will amend the motion to table said lease agreement until further review with city attorney.
I'll support that.
Okay. It's been-
And I would ask the city attorney to give us a written recommendation if he cannot make the next meeting and he's not planning on being here for the next meeting.
Yeah, I think that, I could see if he can come to the next meeting. We did run through the exercise, but if it's best to
We
have.
will see
him
if
here,
we can
do
resolve
that.
it the first week in
Okay.
April.
Got a motion by Commissioner Birch, seconded by Commissioner Prunick to table Picture Rocks Cruises lease agreement until Phil Nordine has had more time to look at the lease.
The next meeting?
Yes, okay, for the next meeting.
And did you want, and respond in writing?
Yeah.
All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Victory Lines, Victory Cruise Lines. Michelle, you wanna?
More boats.
Yes.
So Victory Cruises, which is like a overnight cruise line that sails around the Great Lakes, they are interested in coming to Munising 2 dates in June, which is kind of fastly approaching. There's quite a bit of paperwork that is required to have the cruise boats come to the community. So the city doesn't have the capacity, or I don't have the capacity to do all of the paperwork, but Keegan from Picture Rocks Cruises, who would be partnering with Victory Cruise Line, has volunteered to.
We're not partnering, we're helping the city out.
Well, debatable.
Well, I'd like to have that debate.
Okay. Anyhow, basically Keegan has volunteered to, or offered, or wants to collaborate on
Upon a
this.
strong recommendation.
Strong, I'm happy to collaborate with him. So I look back, looks like Victory Cruises had approached the community before, and we got permission, or the city manager got permission from the commission to work with Victory Cruises, and that's what I'm asking.
They were here last year.
Yes.
Who did the Part 105 last year?
We were,
I don't know, but I'll add, my food and beverage team had hundreds of hours invested in them, and they rug pulled us.
Victory
So
Cruises?
proceed with caution on that.
What are their dates?
They did
Hold on, I think I heard it.
Their stay here was hinged on our ability to deliver food
Oh,
and cater. And I mean, they ran us around for months. We went back and forth. We invested in them coming here, staying in the hotels, a lot of executive meetings, and they rug pulled it. I'm almost positive.
Rug
June,
pull.
it's June
Okay.
second.
That was the word I didn't hear.
Yeah, it was collaborative with food and beverage and catering. They wanted to do catered events in the city for the optics of it.
Will not stop me from recommending we give them mortgage for
Right.
free.
I think it's worthwhile to investigate. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and they're worthwhile getting some information on. I don't think we should.
I am an
it's a
advocate.
security issue, because it's a.
International.
Homeland Security.
Yeah, what's that?
Homeland
Yeah.
Security.
So we have our own security facility, we don't have to deal with it, because we have our own plan. The city needs a security plan for them to come to the dock. To answer your question, last year, I think we flew under the radar a bit with it.
It was unannounced and unscheduled.
Yeah, I don't mean to interject, it's just when
No, I
I hear,
appreciate
when I
the
hear that,
input.
you know, we're trying to help them, I heard that last year. And we helped to the tune of probably tens of thousands of dollars in administrative overhead, and it went nowhere.
That's,
No, they just, they pulled
that's
up
important to
Chicago.
know, Tom,
No,
because I have been a very strong advocate for attracting cruise boats to the city of Munising. Of all the ports on the Great Lakes, where do you want it? Where do you want to visit the most? I
If someone
mean,
with a
we gotta
great
be the
big
most
boat
attractive.
needs your help, then just think,
Yeah, but this plan would apply to anybody coming here. So,
Right.
once you get that plan in place, then if Norwegian Cruise Lines or Viking wants,
Standpoint.
and Viking goes up to our other operation in Bayfield, and they pay the city a lot of dockage. So, but that would be just for them, that would be anybody that wanted to come here. And without the plan, they can't come here.
What are we looking for, Your Honor?
Approval to work with, to keep navigating and partnering with Pictured Rocks Cruises and work on that Part 105.
I would like to change that up a little bit. Personally, knowing some of the people that did labor, this was gonna be one of the things that were brought up. Thank you for bringing it up. Victory does not have a good reputation compared to other cruise lines. I don't want to see the city or private business, whatever private business they may be, waste money on a plan that's not universal. I would specifically make the motion to draw up a proper Part 105 plan that will impact any vote that comes through, so that way the city is in good spot, we've got it set up, it's not vendor specific, and it's the strongest way to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row while also doing something fun.
Is that all one motion, Bryce?
I didn't quite get
I didn't make an official motion, I guess, is the way that I'm gonna play that.
Yeah, and I just need permission to like go forth and see if we can answer and deliver on that, Bryce. I don't know if we can, I need more.
I would make the motion for, to give the city manager permission to properly investigate a Part 105 plan for the city marina and dock.
Great.
Support.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Bird, supported by Commissioner Justardens, to authorize the city manager to research Part 105 plan for the city docks. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Tourist park reservations processing fees structure. What is your recommendation?
Yeah, I'm just here to answer your questions with the letter.
So, for-
How many people book in person?
Well, so each day at least 8.
Really?
So the overflow area is completely non-reservable. It's
Oh, okay.
all walk-in.
So there's some.
Yeah, and then in the spring and the fall, when we're not completely booked solid. So yeah, I don't have the exact number, but it's quite a bit actually.
so you're looking at
3%.
option 2, 3%.
Yeah. And it's actually less than the dollar raise that the other option. And with this will stay across the board, won't have to come back
Mhm.
every other year when expenses go up. And it just doesn't involve the city whatsoever, there's no cost to you guys or me. It's all camp spot to the customer for making the reservation.
Sounds reasonable. I would move that we adopt the 3% reservation processing structure for the tourist park reservation system.
I'll support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to adopt option 2, a percentage-based fee structure for tourist park. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, create charter study review group. So,
Yep. So at the previous meeting, the commission decided we should move forward with a city charter study group. So now, to get that off the ground, we need to start making some decisions. I guess we also want to know what do we want this group to like really focus on? Like, I know there's a couple specific topics. Do we want to set that forth and then kind of pick some group specifics, or probably we should just start to, I've got a whole list here, how many people do we want on the group? I did some poking around, we looked, Marquette recently reviewed their charter, I think it was in 2022 they did it. They had a group of 3, it was the city manager, the clerk, and the city attorney. I think we have opportunity to include more people. So the question would be, do we want to include more people? How many do we want to include? How would we recruit those people?
well, I would think maybe a commission member and then maybe a member at large. I mean, we don't want a huge, but just of the private sector.
The city attorney should be involved. I'm of the opinion that the charter is fine and we don't need to review it or study reviewing it, but then again, if I'm in the minority, I'm in the minority on that.
Well, it hasn't been reviewed in how long? 10 years? Yeah, 10
Yeah,
years.
this is 10 years.
So-
10 years.
And I think,
The one before that was in 1978, and the one before that was in 1959, and the one before that was in 1915.
didn't you bring it up and find out that in the charter, it's a 10-year review?
Yeah, so it's
And it
it's
doesn't-
that it may be, but it's more of a benchmark to make sure that you don't, change it every year. It's meant to be like, all right, but since this has happened, we've had a number of ordinance changes, a number of legal changes. I think it's valid to stay on top of the trends to try to make sure that our charter is strong and not not risking anything. I think the one thing that I would.
Sounds like a volunteer.
I think the big thing for me with this is that, getting members of the public an opportunity to talk that's clear, but maybe not on the commission itself. Having some like open houses, public engagement opportunities, and like talk about it would open up that door. Because if I get hit at trivia after everybody's been drinking and I'm still hosting, and then they want to go up and they want to talk about something with an ordinance or city charter or something, I'm going to blow out my hair. It's something that, people want the opportunity to try to talk about stuff, whether it's relevant or not, I don't know. But at least making sure that we have that community involvement, I think, is the kind of positive reinforcement activity that a charter review should be. So that way it's about our community. How about that way?
I like what you were saying, when we would do like regional planning, master plans, that's what we do, is have open houses.
Just quick feedback from being on that side with Rod. He's got all the knowledge and experience on this candidly. We did this a couple of terms when I sat with him, and I would just advocate for what it's worth, don't let it get too big.
Absolutely.
It gets really squirrely when it gets too big. And charter trivia is a fantastic idea.
And might I just add though, if this has to go back to a charter commission, that's why it took so long to find 9 people to actually
It's like a
run
year or more.
and to be, that wanted to actually do it. So, those people, we could reach out to the ones that were on that commission to see if they would want to do it, but I don't know how much actual public involvement you will get, because I don't know how many people actually know what a charter is.
How labor intensive is that?
Very.
Yes.
It says to review it, plan on a year.
I would also go back to that group and review what the output was, because I think you'd be shocked. The output was very little, as
Yeah.
far as practical
It didn't
application.
change much.
No,
What
it
about-
was very
Sorry,
small.
I didn't interrupt. What about hiring a facilitator for it to make it move quicker? I've been to multiple meetings where groups were being formed, different things were being done, and the facilitator is brought in to keep people on track, to keep an agenda rolling, to get things done from, on this timeframe.
That would have been the attorney that had us doing that, because there's so many legal things in the charters that they have to go back and check and recheck and make sure that everything, they're the number one person actually. Even if you wanted to change, a sentence in there, they have to make sure that legally it's okay to do that.
Well, and that could be done in like a 3-person group. Like that could be done by city staff in a way that it's aware, there's 2 aspects of it. You obviously want it to be efficient. Have the 3 people, have it all be staff, so that way it's part of responsibilities. And then have a couple events. If nobody shows up, nobody shows up. I'm totally okay with that. If people don't want to get involved, I'm not going to force them to. The problem is that if we don't create an avenue for people to feel like they are involved, then it's just going to continue to build bad blood and cause problems between people. So if we just have a couple of those outlets, that works out. I think that solves the issue. I know for me, there's some stuff in the charter that I would at least like reviewed or comparative, or why it's would be a good idea to change it. But I also don't want to taint the study group pool. I want them to figure it out
That's a great
themselves.
starting point too for the commission to go through it and say, hey, this is what we
Yeah.
need to look at. This is what we feel isn't working. That's a good starting point for sure.
But to launch this, I need these questions answered. How many people in the group? Who should be in the group? Sounds like we've kind of answered that.
Well, I think going off of what Bryce said, that start out with the 3 of you, if you are all willing, and us doing our homework as well.
So you want me to read the charter?
Yep.
It's by my bedside.
So, I'm sure you can recite it by now.
And see if I think there should be any changes? Is that what where we're gonna start?
I think so. I think that
I can
we
do that.
we definitely need to be engaged in this as well. So I guess somebody, entertain a motion to create the charter study review group with the city manager, the attorney, and the city clerk.
Do you want that level of specificity in the motion itself, or is it just create the group and let the city manager take care of that, okay, based on our guidance?
Probably having it with a little bit of wiggle room would
Okay.
benefit us in case we do get a volunteer.
Okay.
Go.
I'll take a shot at this, all right. I'll make the motion that we create a charter study review group to be headed by the city manager and to review said aspects of the city charter.
Okay.
Is that too big, I guess?
I'll support it.
Okay. It's been moved by Commissioner Burge to create a charter study review group led by the city manager. And now,
City attorney,
city, oh, okay, we're putting
And the
that,
clerk.
that city attorney and the city clerk.
as said aspects of the charter.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Sounds like a person who's about ready to retire.
You know. Any more? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we gotta sell this study. Item 7, Farmers and Artisans Market License Agreement. Mackenzie's gonna do it again.
Artisans or artisans?
Artisans, artisans as well, isn't it?
Are there any changes from last year?
The fee, I think, has changed, hasn't it?
I don't think the fee changed, no.
Okay.
The date of the start. I think they started earlier in May, but there was issues because we had all of the picnic tables and stuff
Oh,
in the
that's right.
pavilion. And so, we're starting around Labor Day, later in May. So hopefully all the picnic tables.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, thanks.
So the effective Memorial Day through, oh, okay, so that just has to go in the paragraph. I move we approve the license agreement between the city of Munising and Mackenzie Guzman Martinez as the market master for the Munising Market.
I'll support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the Farmers and Artisans license agreement between the city and Mackenzie Guzman Martinez. Any more discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item 8, Munising Bay Overlook Land Acquisition. Michelle, I'm gonna.
Yeah, this, I put it on last minute because I thought, I was like, oh, I need info, and if I,
Michelle, can we get a color copy of this? Because I'm really curious about where
yeah, I
the
think I
picture
put a
rocks.
color copy in last time, but I
Okay,
can give you a
didn't
color
see
copy
it.
before you
I didn't see
go.
this before.
That's fine. Basically, there's if you look at the map, the Munising Bay Overlook project is where the city is going to acquire some land and use it for recreational purposes. We're
What do you
using
want?
getting grant funding to do that. And it is adjacent to a city lot, which on these maps is the crazy looking parcel. And part of the grant, or one of the grant agencies asked if the city wanted to designate their land as recreational land only. And when I put this on the agenda, I thought we had to designate it as that, so I wanted to
That
pass
was
it
my
by you.
understanding, to get the federal and the state
I
grant.
think we can, the parcels that we're buying have to be recreational, but the city part does not have to be.
And it's a
We're
cliff.
buying all of it.
Right, so if we want, so that's sort of the question, do we want it to be recreational? It is, I guess I didn't hand out it's basically.
If we have the option of selling and developing portions of that property, it throws a whole new light on this.
It's just the little teeny city part.
Where the area
Oh, Parcel
Yeah.
4?
No.
No, that little
Right here.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I believe that section is part of the hillside.
It's a cliff.
Yeah, here, I didn't know.
Okay,
There's a topo.
zip line.
Rock climbing.
Which would be recreational, so that would be okay.
History, Michelle.
Yes.
The city of Munising was given all of the hillsides around here, around the city. The city owns all the hillsides from the bottom to the top, to the crest. And I think this section is part of that grant to the city, which has its own restrictions.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was given to us by CCI, part was given to us by CCI, part was given to us by, no, I think it was all given to us by CCI. There's reverter clauses that may still be in effect, and there's development restrictions that may be in effect.
Okay, so we should be, they don't want us to develop,
The part that's got 27 sides, the
Yeah.
cliff face, is undevelopable
agreed,
anyway.
agreed, so it's sort of a moot question.
Yeah.
If we don't have to give up our right to develop, it's like,
But
yeah, why
it seems
should
to
we?
me that the 375 acres is intent was as for recreational use.
That will remain that,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, and then when I had at the last meeting, talked about involving Munising Township in the developing the recreation plan for that,
You
because I
did,
thought
yep.
portions of this were in Munising
Oh, that's,
Township.
okay,
I don't believe any of this is in Munising Township,
okay.
but we would need to verify that.
I'll verify that, I haven't
And
met.
it would be a good idea to include Munising Township in that discussion anyway, even if it was just in an ex officio status.
They got their own Parks and Rec committee out
They
there.
have a
so-
good one too.
Okay, well, we still have quite a bit of paperwork to wade through in this. However, I think it'll probably move in, after a couple weeks, the paperwork will probably move very fast, so.
So I guess the one thing is that it's not developable, but is it traversable in case if there was a parking lot or anything that would,
Well, none of that would be.
you know,
You could
I
make a
know that, but
parking, you
like it's
could
one of
make
those
a parking
things where
lot
it's
to
just
support
start checking.
recreation.
Well, and
And
that
that'd be
is a
okay?
real, that's a real thing, even with the stuff that we're taking from there, and so I would almost say don't change that, just in case if there
I
is a
agree. I
reason
agree.
to
Like,
get
yeah.
access, I mean, handicap access, that kind of stuff is really big in terms of stuff.
I agree.
Even if it's a weird angle.
We're gonna have to have a parking lot regardless if we're.
Yeah, I think that just gives us more options for that space, so.
Access through parcel 4 seems the most prudent.
Is that the power line?
No.
No,
it's
I
down
saw
from the
past the
power
car,
line.
I stopped by
Sure,
Merle Carr's place.
yeah,
Okay. It dips down there?
yep,
Yeah, it's just north of the Christmas.
So it comes out, it Connor's over the access?
yeah.
Do we need any action?
No, actually, I don't.
No, we
So
don't.
what do we need to do, Michelle?
No action,
No action? No? Good, I like that.
okay. All right, are we done with that one? Item 9, UP sale and commercial dockage request. If my papers are all
You want mine?
messed up, here it is.
The
Okay.
right one? I did the math on this, by the way.
Michelle?
Basically, so UP Sailing Company, would like to lease a spot at our marina. And this was, looks like this was discussed last year, so I'm taking last year's discussion, putting it into the lease.
Didn't we have them last year?
It didn't come to fruition as far as I understand.
Being here.
I don't remember seeing a 45-foot sailboat down there.
No, but I think we approved it last year.
They could have been transient at that point in time and just popped
It
in
was
and out.
approved, but I don't think they actually had the boat.
Came down, yeah.
Sure.
It took a while for Waterways to approve it as
Right.
well, because you guys approved it, and that had to go to Waterways, and they were meeting for them to approve it. Roundabout, it got approved, but by the time that it got to doing an actual lease for them to put in their boat, it was able to.
Too late.
So does it gotta go down that path again?
Yes, so this, if we approve the lease, it will, the Waterways has a meeting in early April. For some reason, I think April
Okay,
6th, but I'm
as
not
long
sure.
as long as we don't get hung up by the state.
Is this the same lease as last year?
As far as I,
What's
I
that?
mean,
or the draft, yes.
Or 2% more than last year.
Stop it.
Yes. It was an increase from the last year.
Yeah, I did the math.
And this matches our new rates.
Just said that.
What's that?
Well, the math works
Just said
good.
that.
It was a trigger match to the new rates.
I would have a question about where they intend to park their customers.
I don't know if they'll, that's a good question.
I think last year it was, they were shuttling them in, or their intent was to shuttle them in. Because I'd hate to think they're gonna use John's parking lot for their business.
I think they
There's
would.
a few other people use John's parking lots.
I move we approve the lease.
I'll support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Prunick, to approve UP sailing commercial package lease. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item 10, ACH policy.
This is kind of a formality that allows us to do direct deposit. Christian, do you wanna expand on that?
Direct deposit to us or to people we're paying?
It's been, origination.
Kind of people we're paying, but the people we're paying are employees.
I understand the need for it. Peripheral question, can I pay my water bill online yet?
Yes,
I can? With the 2 or 3% charge added?
yeah.
Or you guys aren't gonna see me anymore. I'll pay my water bill online. I don't have any questions with this.
Okay.
Anybody else?
It's the resolution for the Board of Slope. I move we approve the resolution to authorize electronic transactions of funds under Public Act 738 of 2002.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Prunick to approve the resolution. I don't have it in front of me, so
ACH policy.
Yeah,
the
I'll give you
ACH
mine.
policy.
Have that.
Okay.
You need a bigger desk.
I know. I guess that's pretty much it. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's a resolution, it should be roll call, sorry.
Oh, it's a-
Commissioner Justardens,
Yes.
Commissioner Burge,
Yes.
Commissioner Prunick,
Yes.
Mayor Barry.
Yes. All right. Item F, correspondence.
And that was
Jordan
from
Funny
me,
again.
just letting you know what the schedule is for
Yep.
Jordan's position.
Thank you, Jordan.
Received.
Hey.
Appreciate it. All right, item F, item G, public comment. Anybody else?
I had 39 seconds, can I use it?
Sure.
I don't know how it works, so I'll be quick. Tom Dusky Miller Road, the formal stuff. I did the thing where I forgot when I get up here because my heart rate speeds up and I'm not gonna push shit.
Amen.
I did notice the water ran technically what's considered a profit, right? It does like 1.08 million in revenue, and before other costs was $138,000 in the black. I don't think that sort of fund is where you look as a municipality to make more money.
No.
It's a comment.
My time's up.
Thanks, Tom. All right, item H,
Thanks, Tom.
motion to adjourn.
I have a
I'm
comment.
sorry.
I just want to give a shout out to the city crews for their work over the last 3 or 4 days. I saw Red on the track list in front of the gallery, and he was doing the sidewalk. The snowbank in front of him was 4 times higher than the track was, and he was trying to get through it. It was pretty impressive. But the crews were tireless, and they are to be commended.
All right, anybody else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so moved. Support.
By Commissioner Justardens, supported by Commissioner Burge to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Very good.